What is good, everybody? Welcome to BYG Bible Studies. My name is Dylan Armstrong, and I'm just a man. I'm just a small town boy from Mississippi. But I'm so thankful to have the opportunity to bring you guys a message from God's Word today. Thankful that He lets me do this. I hope that this episode today is filling to you. It fills your soul, and I hope that it helps you connect to your Creator like never before. I'm going to kick things off today by talking about color blindness, which I know is kind of odd, but color blindness is a condition that some people have where they cannot see the difference between certain colors. So some people might not be able to tell the difference between red and green. Some people see all purples as blue. Some people's vision is mainly dominated by the colors of black and brown. All right, but thankfully they've been able to make these glasses that people can put on and they see color, all the colors, vividly for the first time. And there's videos online of people doing this. I watched a compilation of this the other day, and I gotta tell you guys, the videos are very moving. It's just something about them. I mean, it moved me to tears. Okay, I was teared up. I teared up. It's just something about people getting to see the beauty of the world for the first time, seeing the beauty that they had been missing out on for so long. It's just something about it was so moving. And it reminded me that we do take for granted a lot the beauty in the world that we get to see every day. You know, a lot of people are missing out on things. You know, if you don't listen to Andy Minio's music, you're missing out. If you don't put peanut butter and syrup on your pancakes, you're missing out, okay? And you know, you might not like that, but it's the truth, okay? It's the truth. And you know, a lot of people are missing out on the beauty of Jesus. A lot of people are living their lives in darkness, and they don't even realize it until they get brought into the light, or until light is brought into their life. You know, there's a story from the life of Jesus that is recorded in John chapter 9, where he and his disciples are going along one day, and they come upon a blind man, a man who has been blind from his birth. And the disciples look at Jesus and they say, Jesus, was it the sin of this man's parents, or did this man commit a sin in his womb that caused him to be born blind? Interesting question. You see, at the time, people thought that everything bad that happened to you is because of a sin that you committed. Like, I lied to somebody, and so later down the road, God is going to cause a rock to fall and crush my leg. Okay? And they weren't far from the truth. You know, because all suffering and all brokenness in the world is because of sin, right? That's true. And some sins do have consequences that are immediate. Like if I lied to you, I hurt you, and I disrupt our friendship, and that's a bad thing to happen. But it's not that a specific sin causes something bad to happen, right? That's not true. And Jesus tells them this. He's like, hey, no, it's not because of anyone's sin that this man became blind. He says, actually, the purpose of this man's blindness is so that the works of God can be revealed through me. That Jesus then tells them that he is the light of the world. And he then spits on the ground and he makes mud. And he takes this mud and he rubs it on the blind man's eyes. And he tells the guy to go wash his eyes in a pool of water. And the man goes and washes his eyes, and for the first time in his life, he gets to see. He can see everything. And I know you might be thinking that was kind of weird on how it happened, but don't miss the beauty of the miracle that Jesus, what he did there, that he gave this man sight, that he had compassion on this guy, and the works of God was revealed through him, and this man could see. And I don't want us to miss on the significance of what Jesus said there by calling himself the light of the world, okay? We almost control darkness in our world today, right? We have electricity. We can flip a light switch and I can keep working. Darkness doesn't have any effect on me because I have a phone with a flashlight, or I have other flashlights. We have lights. But you see, at the time, they didn't. They didn't have electricity. They didn't have cell phones or flashlights. Yeah, they could build a fire, but that's not as much light. You know, they didn't have the access to what we have today. So darkness dominated their world. Darkness dominated their world. That darkness dominated their schedules. It was like when it's time to stop working, it's because it's getting dark. when we can't play anymore because it's getting dark, right? We don't have any lights. There's not a field with big football field lights. There's none of those. We can't keep playing. It's like, no, darkness dominated their world. And so Jesus was trying to reveal to them there that he is the light that pushes back these spiritual darkness in the world. That he is the light in the world and that he can do that. And he also tells us that when we do good deeds for others, we then become shining lights in a world of darkness. And I think you and I both know that we all can agree that this world has a lot of darkness in it and it needs some light to be shined on it, doesn't it? And the beauty that Jesus is trying to tell us here is that maybe there's darkness in our lives and that he is the light in our lives, but also that we don't have to leave the world the way it is. That we can go shine a light in the darkness of this world and make the world better by doing good deeds for other people. That's what Jesus tells us. We don't have to leave the world and say that we can do something about it, like what he was doing here with this man, or he was letting the good works of God shine through him. We see a world of darkness. We can let the good works of God come through us. And so so Jesus does this amazing thing for this man, and this man obviously amazed by what just happened. And he goes and he tells his friends, tells his family, tells his neighbors, like, look what happened. I can see now. I'm the guy who was blind and now I can see. And they're astounded, and they all are celebrating, they're happy, and then they go to the Pharisees. They go to the religious leaders of the time and say, look what the amazing thing that God has done in this guy's life. And the Pharisees are the Pharisees. They were not quick to celebrate. They were like, how did this happen? Hold up, what's going on here? Who caused this thing to happen? How did this happen? These things, who caused this miracle? Who did this miracle? Who healed you? And the man tells them what they did not want to hear. He tells them it was Jesus. Jesus was the one who healed me and gave me back my sight. You see, the Pharisees did not want to accept that Jesus did this because they did not want to accept that Jesus was from God, because they saw Jesus as a sinner, because Jesus did things, he healed people on the Sabbath, which was the Jewish holy day, all right, the day of rest where they were not supposed to do anything. But you see, the Pharisees had taken this law a little too far. They started saying that we can't do anything. We can't even help other people. If a car falls on you, it's like, sorry, I can't lift that off you because it's Sabbath day. Can't do anything. Oh my goodness, I see that, you have like a knife in your back. I can't pull it out for you because Sabbath day. Can't work. Sorry about it. That's silly, but that's the extent that we're taking God's law. They were using it as an excuse to not help people. And they were missing the beauty, the point of God's laws were to show love to others and love to him. And love to yourself. And so they were missing out on that. And so they were just, could not accept that Jesus did this thing. And they start questioning the guy. They're like, we think you're lying. We think you actually were not born blind. They bring in the dude's parents and say, tell us the truth. Was your son born blind? Is he lying? Tell us the truth. The audacity that they had. And the guy, he gets fed up with it. He gets to a point where he gets fed up. He's like, listen, guys, I know you don't want to accept that Jesus is from God, but how is he not? Like, use your common sense, people. How is he not? He's like, listen, if Jesus was not from God, then he could not do these things. But because he does these things, it's obvious that he is from God. We see that this man, not only was he healed of his physical blindness, but we see that obviously he's starting to be healed from his spiritual blindness because he is seeing Jesus, the light of the world, for who he truly is. But of course, the Pharisees, they do not like this guy talking back to them like that because they're like, whoa, you know who we are? All right, you know who we are. You know what we do, okay? Yeah, we're the religious leaders, okay? You don't tell us what God does, who is and who isn't from God, okay? We know that. And so they don't like it. They don't like it, and they kick the guy out of the synagogue. They kick him out, banish him. He now loses all connection spiritually to his family and other people. And now I get to say my favorite words. But Jesus heard what had happened. And he didn't say, oh, that's sad, but hey, he can see now, though. No. Jesus finds him. And then Jesus says, listen, it's okay. And he reveals to him that he is the Son of Man. He's like, I'm the Son of Man, the Messiah. And the guy who was once blind but now can see, worships him, praises him, calls him his Lord, which is master, the master of his life. And Jesus, has this amazing moment with him, and he reveals to him even more truth, which is a big comfort to this guy. He says, listen, I came into this world, Jesus speaking, I came into this world so that those who are blind may see, and that those who see may become blind. And Jesus basically explains to him that he's like, listen, those who realize that they are blind, realize that they need help, and they ask for it, receive it. They receive it. Those who acknowledge their blindness, those who realize, hey, I'm blind, I need help, they're going to get it. But there are some people who don't realize that they're blind, don't realize that they can't see. And they're like, no, not me, I can see clearly, I got everything figured out. And they don't acknowledge the help that they need. So they become blind. We all have a lot of things going on in life, and sometimes we can be in spiritual darkness. Darkness feels like a cloud around us, whether it's anxiety, fear, dealing with loss. We all have different struggles. But when we acknowledge that we need help, when we come to Jesus, acknowledging that we can't do it. I can't fix all my problems. I can't fix my spiritual blindness. I can't fix my anxiety. I need you, Jesus. He comes into our darkness and gives us light. He brings light into our lives when we acknowledge it and ask for his help. And he brings that light into our lives, not just so that we can sit and enjoy it, but so that we can also give this light to other people. That we can do something about a world that is stuck in spiritual darkness. He gives us the opportunity to do that for others, to do something about the state of the world. And so I hope that you guys, if you're in a season of darkness, that you allow the light to come in. That you realize the thing that will cast out all the fear and the anxiety in my life is the perfect love of Jesus Christ. And I have to go to him and I have to acknowledge it. And it might take time. It's not going to be like an instant, maybe, and maybe it will be, but for most of us, it's taking time acknowledging the love, acknowledging his control, and giving him that control, and acknowledging his acceptance in our lives is all that we need. And we'll find that healing, we'll find that darkness fading. This has been BYG Bible Studies, guys. I hope this message has been good for you, and it has been a wonderful one for me. Remember that God loves you, and I love you, and there is nothing you can do that will change that. Have a great day.